láthair aniu agus an tábhar fíorábhachtach seo a lé a grin an seo. Tá éise gom go maiid go bhfuil an tara ar an ólas faoi dul contain na strátéirte fethe bliain don Gaeilge agus go dtigann sin na deacrachtaí agus na dúshlán atá fósas ar gcóir agus an strátéí seo fós le chur a bhaim. At the outset, Minister, I will apologise that I would say I am probably the only one here who can't deliver a full speech in Irish, and apologies. I wish I could. I wish I could. But the interest is there, believe me. Minister, I don't want to use all my time. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Minister, for coming into the chamber to discuss this important topic again this week, and I'd also like to thank you for a very interesting speech that you made this morning at the event organised by Senator O'Flaherty, and I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the people here from the Fulbright Scholarship and from the universities and the representatives that were here. It was a most interesting briefing this morning, and again, thank you, Senator O'Flaherty, for organising that. As we know, the Strategies 2020 Bliain of Fethe Bliain don Gaeilge was introduced in 2010 with the main objectives of increasing the daily number of Irish speakers from 83,000 to 250,000 by 2030, increasing the number of people speaking Irish in the Gaeltacht by 25%, and by increasing the number of people who use state services through Irish. And I think there are both things that have come up here this morning, and very importantly, we're already into our fourth year of the strategy, and I welcome the opportunity to touch base with you, Minister, on where we are in terms of expected goals, what has been achieved thus far, and where we're going from here. I very much welcome the 20-year strategy, and although, as I have apologised, I'm not a daily Irish speaker myself, I do have a deep understanding of the importance of the preservation and promotion of our first national language, and I see this strategy as a step in the right direction for Gaeilge and her speakers. And I think, as I've mentioned to you before, I probably have more of an interest in it, in that I too have tried to bring my children up with the limited amount of Irish that I had, and I'm delighted that this year, last September, the first Gaelscoil in Dundalk was opened, and I'm delighted that now children will have the first full opportunity to attend. It's the first Gaelscoil in Ireland. Now, I do appreciate that one of the other schools, Coláiste Laois, does have an Irish stream and had an Irish stream, but this is the first all-Irish Gaelscoil in Dundalk. And I would hope it will continue, and I'm sure it will continue to go from strength to strength. But saying that, as I said, I've brought up my own children, and I'm delighted that one of my children went on to do Irish Europe and a master's in Lane Changa, and is a fluent Irish speaker, and I love to hear the language. I love to hear when the phone goes and it's conversations in Irish the whole time.
I can vouch for that.
Absolutely. It gives you a great sense of pride. It really is. It's beautiful to hear our native tongue and being spoken so fluently, if you like. But I do think that there are issues within that that I'd like to raise. Almost 2 years ago, I welcomed the fact that there will be a language plan drafted for each and every Gaeltacht individually under the Gaeltacht Act. This move was an acknowledgement of the decline of use of Irish in the Gaeltacht and a realistic approach to the solution, and I welcome the announcement that you've made today about the new scheme for people in the Gaeltacht and encouraging families and children to catch them and to put the money in there. But I think, and I would reiterate a point that was made this morning, I think it's not just in the Gaeltacht. I think we need to expand that, the point that was made by Lisa this morning, that, it is very important that we do expand that. Senator McAneill has referred to the fact that he went to a Gaelscoil that they spoke Irish in Dublin. They did have that opportunity. I would love to see that opportunity put out all over the country. I know that one of the plans in it was to have, a centre where we could have Irish music, Irish, our poetry. We could have, because if we don't have a centre like this, where are our poets going to come from in the future? How are we going to expand on this, on our Irish culture? So, something like and I know that there are plans for it, but not just in Dublin. I'd like to see them dotted all over the country, and not just in Gaeltacht areas. The Culture Lawn in Belfast is a really impressive example of what can be done to foster Irish and the Irish language. And I'm just not aware of places within our towns where we can have a centre like that, where people can go for a cup of coffee and have a talk and have a chat and talk and have their... And I know that Senator Walker, the excellent work that you've done with the Conra, and as a former music teacher myself, Irish traditional music is something that has, but I think we can blend them all together. There is a place to put all the arts together. 2012 and 13 saw great progress in the field terminology of Irish with the publication of An Caighdeán á Bhreithne and on Folklore and Eura, the new English-Irish dictionary that went live online at the beginning of the year. These advantages in the field of terminology were prescribed in the 20-year strategy, and I'm pleased to see that this aspect of the strategy has been successfully engaging with the public. These measures will safeguard the modernity of Irish and will mean that the language will remain as contemporary and as up-to-date as possible, so we'll be able to better serve its speakers. One of the areas for action that was specified in the 20-year strategy was in the area of legislation, relates back to the government statement on the Irish language from 2006. And in light of Ronan O'Donnell's appointment as Commissioner Changa today, and I would like to wish him all the best, I would like to draw attention to Objective 2 that was in that, which reads, the Official Language Act will be fully implemented. The right of the public to use Irish in dealings with the state and with other bodies will be developed, and the appropriate arrangements to deliver this will be put in place. And this has arisen twice today. It is something that I'd like to raise as well. I would ask the Minister if there are any official figures on how many proficient Irish speakers are working within the civil service at present. The organisation Good Gael Culture states that up to 300 civil servants are undertaking Irish classes at various levels. Does the department have any record on civil servants with Irish at an appropriately high level? Does the department have any record on the sectors of the public service that are sufficiently staffed so that they can deal with queries from the Irish-speaking community? And that's something, as I said, that you've raised today, and something just recently. I know that as somebody who applied to do a driving test in Irish in November 2013, they applied to do their driving test, and they were told the first available date for them to do it is June 2015, if they wanted to do it in Irish. So naturally they went ahead and did it in English. But I think those, there are there's so much scope within there. And another example is of somebody who went for a public job recently, and I would be happy to discuss this with you later, went for a public job in Irish where the use of Irish was going to be used as part of the medium of that position. And the facilitator for the exam was in...
To remind you, but I think your time was...
Thank you. The facilitator for the exam was done in English. And when they asked why the exam could not be facilitated in Irish, they were told there was nobody available. So I think, that is a huge area that needs to be looked at.
Senator, I hate interrupting you, but I'm in a difficulty.
Okay.
There are a lot of speakers. This is finish at 1.
All right.
And the minister's what
Okay.
we call now.
I'll continue this with you.
Thank you very much. Before calling any other speaker,